Now, for more perspective on the Zimbabwe political crisis, Dewa Mavingha, Southern Africa Director at Human Rights Watch, joins me via Skype from Johannesburg. Dewa, welcome to Africa 54.
Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Now, many today keenly watching what's going to come out of Botswana when the Southern African ministers meet there. What do you think are their options at the moment?
Most likely, and going by precedent, Southern African Development Community is likely to condemn a military coup and to call for an immediate restoration of constitutional order or rule. This is what has been the case in the cases where similar military interventions occurred in Madagascar, for example, and in Lesotho. So we are likely to have that pronouncement and a push by SADC to say they would not recognize a government that takes power through unconstitutional means.
Now, the military has said this is not a coup. What are some of the options you think they have to ensure that there is no coup, if that is exactly how they want it to be? What can they do?
Well, when the military says it's not a coup, the test is to check whether the civilian constitutional government of President Mugabe is in power and in authority. So one way would be to ensure that to have Mugabe clearly say, President Mugabe for himself and with his cabinet, that he is in charge and not the military. So I think this is where the problem is, because President Mugabe has been under house arrest, effectively confined to his house yesterday since the announcement of the military takeover. And now there are negotiations with South African envoys in the country. But the challenge is whether or not the military can persuade Mugabe to come up and say he is now acting voluntarily to relinquish his authority that he has at law.
But pretty much this is a ZANU-PF affair. Could they just reorganize the house and still, install somebody in place of Mugabe and everything looks like, it can be accepted?
Well, it is possible if there is cooperation from Mugabe and those around him, because there are constitutional hurdles that need to be cleared. And the first is that one of the persons whom the military wanted to get back into power, Emmerson Mnangagwa, had been fired on November 6th from the government and expelled from ZANU-PF. So what it means is that there needs to be a process to get Mnangagwa back into the government as deputy president, for example, and also into the party, so that it becomes constitutional. It is not possible to parachute someone who is not in government into leadership of the country without violating the constitution.
Wow, quite a lot that we can expect to witness in the coming days. Thank you very much for your insights.
My pleasure, thank you.
Yeah, that's Dewa Mavingha, who is the Southern Africa Director for Human Rights Watch in Johannesburg, South Africa.